Hey everybody, how you doing? It's your best buddy Basil here with the Canary Crime News Talk live show pre-show. Ooh, my fave tech got first like on YouTube. Good job, my fave tech. You win the prize. Who else we got here? Mike Cornell, Martin, Datalorian, let's go. YouTube is in the house. Rumble, where you at, Rumble? Rumble's looking a little light today. Here's a little heads up, folks. The email did not get sent out today. It'll be very curious to see how that affects everything. It kept 404ing when I was trying to send the email. Did it about 30 times, so hopefully you guys don't get 30 copies of the email someday. But I'm over here on the MailChimp status X account. Our engineers are investigating campaign issues affecting some users. We'll share updates here. Our engineers have resolved connection issues impacting the ability to edit campaigns. We are aware of connection issues impacting users' ability to edit campaigns. Okay, so it looks like they're having a lot of problems. These are all posted in the past couple days. So, MailChimp can't send the email. It's very sad. It was such a good email too. Here's a fun story for everybody. As everybody knows, my father was and is a pastor and a boomer. And when he started, he would write his own newsletters to go out to the congregation and whoever got on the list. He was always very of his work. He considered it his art, and he would always ask me, did I look at his recent email? And invariably I would say no. And I eventually started looking at the emails because it was clear to me that this was important to him and something that he put a lot of work into. So now that's just a little tip for everybody. Open the emails. Open the mass emails your father sends out. Kids, it's good. It's good for family dynamics. And while you're at it, you should open up the emails I send. But there's no email today. MailChimp, riddled with errors. And we will see how that affects the show. All right, we got Most Mundane Liar Bliss, Soviet Union Defector, Martin's here, Shanovision over on Twitch. Twitchers, I'm very proud of the Twitchers. If you haven't joined the Twitch, you should do that. We got kicked off of Twitch after no warning. We started a new channel and haven't had the just too sad to like fix it up. So it's a very bare bones channel, but I think everybody should go check it out. Twitch. You can find the button at canarycry.party. Hello, Rumble. Rumble's in the house. The Racing Heart. Aight. We got a Doge Dog doing a little dance and the Rick Roll emoji there. Okay. Oh yeah, Shanovision giving me the 10-4 to 10 whatever. On Twitch, it needs a new thumbnail. Okay, yes, that's a good idea. We'll do that. All right, everybody. Well, text message is out, but I have a feeling that did not get delivered to a lot of people too. The cyber pandemic is on, and the stifling, the shadow banning of your favorite podcast continues. That's it. Well, we're all here, though. We're still going to do a show that can't keep us from doing that. So that's what we're going to do. All right, folks, buckle your seatbelts. Close the airlock on your space plane. It's time to get this party started.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy.
You are listening to Canary Crime News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is October 25th, 2023. We are live to tape on episode 681. And today, Manufacturing Mandela. And signing on from off the grid, Razzle Dazzle. I'm your best buddy, Basil. And you
I forgot.
are not crazy.
I forgot you say that.
No, okay, fun.
My name is Gons, director of the Age of Deceit Films, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ, live to tape from California to bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events and today's emergent phenomena. Hashtag M5M Civil War. It's on.
Whoa.
The fallout from the Middle East is just all the mainstream media, legacy mainstream media outlets fighting each other. So that's fun.
Yeah, it's in sort of in a real way, like a tit for tat sort of thing going on here, which is interesting because it stems from the news coming out of the Middle East. Of course, you got to question every source that comes out of the Middle East. And then we've got another layer of questioning on the mainstream media putting out the news. I think, like you referred to last episode, it's like fifth generation warfare, mainstream media inception.
Yeah, it's inception. Yeah.
A lie within a lie within a lie. And that's what we're here, folks. We're not here to just read you the headlines or keep you updated on the news. We do those things. But it's more about equipping everybody here with the skills and discernment to be able to navigate the illusions of this fifth generation warfare battlefield. And with that, let's do a disclaimer.
It's time for a disclaimer.
Now listen up, YouTube.
That's right. And just for all the content moderators and censorship managers out there, be they robots or humans, everything you hear on this show comes directly from the mainstream corporate news media. We do not claim to be experts on healthcare, geopolitics, military strategy, corporate law, or the moral and ethical implications of any of these topics, nor do we implicitly or explicitly support or subscribe to any sources or narratives containing misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation, as defined by the Department of Homeland Security. We're good boys. All right, YouTube, we're good boys. That's right. Let me give you a rundown, Gons.
Oh, look, here's Basil.
Let me bring you up to speed.
Fifth generation warfare onslaught going on all around the world, including Russia. Claims from alleged insiders that Russian President Vladimir Putin suffers cardiac arrest. We will find out what that means for all of us. I mean, that guy, he's having such a hard time. I guess he's got brain cancer, having heart attacks, his short man syndrome. I don't know. We'll be exploring not just the possibility, but the reporting on the information. Then we'll be checking out with Flippy. And it's happened, folks. Yes, robo-terrorism. We're all too busy worrying about the caliphate and the cartels and the commies, but nobody expected the terror of the robots. So we'll be checking in with that and try to talk Flippy off the ledge. Then, man, oh man, getting straight into the depths of the not just fifth generation warfare, information war for your mind, but mainstream media legacy outlets battling each other. And so far, none of them are standing down. Very exciting. But what else we got here? Oh, and at the end of the show, Gons is going to be giving us an update on Gog and Magog. It's going down, folks. But first, our lead stories.
That's not it.
And you shall hear wars and rumors of wars.
Russia.
Oh, Russia. We're going to kick it off with a story that the SkyNews Australia had. I believe it was yesterday. The headline here, Russian President Vladimir Putin suffers cardiac arrest in presidential bedroom. An insider group reveals. And just the highlights here. Russian President Vladimir Putin has reportedly suffered a cardiac arrest following months of speculation over his health. General SVR an organization claiming to have classified intel on Kremlin activities from retired and active intelligence officers, shared its allegations to social media. Now, first of all, have you ever heard of General SVR? I think it stands for, I forget what it was. I think it's written here. Maybe it was written in the other article. But they're
Is
just
that a name?
Yeah,
What
it's
is
like
that?
yeah,
SVR?
it's a group. It's a group of folks who allegedly, again, they're insiders and former intel people that know what's going on, and they have a Telegram channel, and they're letting
Oh, it's
people
like-
know what's going on.
like Russian Q.
Yeah, yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, I guess
Q
it's coming from
anonymous.
yeah. Maybe coming from the opposite type of thing. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, the way they're
Okay.
reporting it here is that it's a group of intel people or classified people allegedly that know what's going on with the Kremlin. The group claimed the controversial leader was found lying on the floor of his bedroom next to overturned food and drinks about 9:05 p.m. on Sunday. An insider group has claimed his security personnel then stormed the room when they heard noises and the sound of the president hitting the floor. Now, how did they know that that was him hitting the floor? What if he was just really pumped about something he saw on TV? I don't know.
Yeah. First thing to note, and this, we've pointed this out before. Q is another, a lot of Q things can be sort of dissected this way. The absolute chock-a-block full nature of flavor in the report, the flavor.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there was food and drink, and he
Right.
flopped to the floor. The sort of
The imagery
I
being
don't know,
painted. It's like
it sounds fictionalized. It's
Right.
too much flavorful description. That's usually not that, that's usually somebody writing a blog trying to write a narrative.
Yeah. They go through the whole thing. They
It's a
resuscitated
classic
him.
mistake. It's a classic mistake. Somebody trying to write fake news, they put way too much information in there because they think it will make it sound more credible.
Right. It just makes it sound worse. It'd be better if they just said, we don't have much information, more later or something. More people will believe it more. The insider group further claimed that latest health scare has alarmed Putin's inner circle within Kremlin, who fear he is on the brink of death. A cryptic social media has added fuel to the speculation after a user said they were praying for the president's welfare. SkyNews. What are you talking about? Quote, God, don't you leave us. Pray to God you are alive and healthy. The Telegram post by Z Blogger read. I'm not 100% sure what is going on with this Sky News report.
So it is literally a blogger.
I think it's a Telegram group, and then maybe somebody blogged it or something, and then you got people responding to the Ukraine thing, and then quote, what's going on? He said on X. This is probably one of the worst reports I've ever seen from Sky News. And to be honest, I didn't believe it as soon as I saw it. But then, of course, first off, the other people that really carried the story was Hindustan Times.
Yeah.
They had Putin collapsed on
CIA.
floor. Russian president suffered cardiac arrest, claims Kremlin quote unquote insider. Okay, so let's.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to mention the sort of Smith Mund thing with Indian outlets specifically.
Yeah, just a good thing. Yeah, a good thing for people to remember. And maybe you're new to the show and you haven't heard us talk about this, but there's a lot of sources for this that we don't have right in front of us. But India is famous. So there's the Smith-Mund Act, which means the U.S. government, cannot directly propagandize the American people. Of course, that was updated with the Smith-Mund Modernization Act, which was done because of the internet. The U.S. cannot guarantee that their propaganda doesn't make it to U.S. citizens. And the way that one of the main ways that the government and intelligence agencies will propagandize American citizens is by planting stories in foreign outlets, because they can do that, and then American outlets can report that the foreign outlet reported something. It's kind of American Propaganda 101.
Yeah.
and then you pair that with the discovery that there were over 700 fake news, not fake, I mean, there are real news companies putting out news, but 700 of them were basically fake news agencies that were being run by the CIA,
right,
in order to propagandize everybody.
Yeah.
So whenever you see Hindu Times, India Times, any India-based news outlet, there's a very good chance that you are reading something directly from the CIA.
Yeah, this Hindustan Times article is published on 3:22 p.m. as well, so it's probably some skull and bones people back there hitting the button.
3:22.
But you know, the part of the language within the Smith-Munn documents talks about how we just want more transparency with the government and, you know, this kind of thing. But really, it is legalized propaganda, more or less. It's, you know, again, it doesn't say that in the documents, but if you kind of put two and two together. But in this case here, these outlets, Sky News and Hindustan Times, among others, may have been the sort of the bait, the straw man, so that Forbes could tell you the truth. Forbes headline: Kremlin denies rumors of Putin body double amid heart attack claims. So now, which is interesting. Putin bad, Putin bad, Putin fake news, Putin fake news. But no. Putin's Russia is telling us the truth about what's going on with their Vladimir Putin. Allegedly, he's healthy and does not use body doubles, according to Forbes, for public appearances.
Yeah, thanks, Forbes.
A Kremlin spokesperson said Tuesday, following claims on social media suggesting Putin, whose health had been speculated on in recent years, suffered a heart attack over the weekend. And it just does bullet points about the whole thing. Same sort of, you know, story, and calling out the general SVR, who is the Telegram channel. Yeah, what's up? Whoa.
Ooh. You know, what other podcast has random children coming to add flavor to the show? Some people don't like it. The people who don't like it are not parents. I'm not a parent, but I have resigned myself to sort of, by proxy, parenting some sort of child. All right, on the other end of the Skype line.
String cheese is deployed. All right, so there's a critical or crucial quote here from Peskov from Russia. He says, quote, "This belongs to the category of absurd information hoaxes that a whole series of media discuss with inviolable tenacity. Quote, this evokes," I want you to read this in Russian accent, Basil.
Oh.
"This evokes nothing but a smile." That is pretty much, you got to do that in a Russian
This
accent.
evokes a smile.
Nothing but a smile.
Which paragraph is it?
It's towards the crucial quote. There's
on the
Forbes
on the first
article.
link we got here, Sky News?
No, Forbes, yeah.
Okay, here's the thing, folks. Just hold on one tight minute. This is a very important live change to the show. This was not planned ahead of time.
Yeah.
But here we are. Okay, the
show.
crucial quote. "This belongs to the category of absurd information hoaxes that a whole series of media discuss with enviable tenacity," Peskov said, adding, "This evokes nothing but a smile."
So Russians are smiling. Russians don't smile. What do you?
They don't smile. So that means that this is when a Russian says that something is funny or that it makes them smile, they do not say that lightly. Here in the US, we're talking about being happy and laughing and smiling all the time. It's just, you know, it's kind of disgusting to other countries, the way that Americans sort of flippantly throw these things around. Even smile. Folks, watch I forget what the documentary is called, but it was about the first McDonald's in Russia. And the first McDonald's in Russia had to train their employees how to smile while taking somebody's order, because Russians just don't smile for no reason. The Russian population was so put off by the McDonald's employees smiling that they had a very hard time. Some Russians described it as a creepy experience, going to McDonald's and having somebody smile at them when they walked in the door.
Why are you so happy?
Russians do not smile easily. That's how silly Mr. Peskov thinks that this whole idea of Putin having a heart attack
Yeah,
is.
well, at least they got him to laugh and smile. Well, not laugh, smile. I mean, we're doing them a service. They have
Smile.
a heart. Yeah. They have a key background here, just to sort of, tail this thing off and then talk about it a little bit. The Telegram channel General SVR emerged in 2020, according to Insider. That's Business Insider. So they're the ones reporting on it since 2020, which suggests to me that maybe they're part of it, and appears to base its claims on sources from Russia's Foreign Intelligence Services, or SVR, and other Russian state bodies. A spokesperson declined to identify the account's sources over security concerns, indicating that the channel had, quote, complete confidence in them and, quote, never let us down. In recent years, the channel has made claims about Putin's allegedly declining health and how he utilizes body doubles. Oh, you want more juice too? Oh yeah, I got that ready too.
Wow.
Boom, boom. Yeah, this guy's real.
Know. You know what, Gons?
Mm-hmm.
While you pass out the juice, I'll say I do not have a human child that I have to take care of, but I do now have dogs against my best
Judgment.
interests. And I've been doing a lot of training with these dogs, and these dogs are the exact age that turns them into sort of little, hyperactive velociraptors that demand your attention no matter what the situation. But somehow I've been able to convince these dogs that if they really want my attention, they very politely come and give me a little touch on the hand instead of jumping on top of my entire head and crushing me beneath their weight. And look, I'm not comparing your child to a dog, but I am comparing my dog to your child. So let that be what it is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully one day you'll see that they start talking. It's a whole new ball game. Okay,
dogs? I can't wait for my dog to start talking.
I know. Okay, so then it talks about how Putin previously denied this stuff, yada, yada, yada.
The body double thing.
The body double thing. Yeah. Former House Speaker
Forbes
Nancy.
is just taking their word for it. Hey, Putin says he doesn't use a body double, so he doesn't.
Right, which is weird, right? For Forbes to be doing that, to be taking anything that Russia says and saying like, see, this other story is debunked. But I thought it was funny here. They sort of do just a list of things like reactions, not just to this story, but just the whole idea of Putin and body doubles and being sick and all that kind of stuff. And it says here, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi told MSNBC last year that, quote, some say Putin has cancer and some people say brain fog from COVID, end quote, which I think is a really funny Nancy Pelosi quote. William Burns, director of the CIA, subsequently said the agency determined Putin was, quote, entirely too healthy, end quote. While Richard Moore, head of Britain's MI6, said there was, quote, no evidence that Putin is suffering from serious illness, end quote. And it goes on to some other stuff. But I just thought it was funny that, Nancy Pelosi is like, I heard he might have cancer or maybe brain fog from COVID. And then Bill Burns from the CIA is like, no, he's way too healthy. Like, we need to do something about this guy.
That's actually an interesting conflict. The CIA debunking Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah. Pretty funny. But so this whole thing, and of course Newsweek also had the debunking side, which again, this is very convenient, to have Newsweek and Forbes be the bearers of truth, or at least Russian propaganda or Russian response to the whole thing. So there's some interesting angles there. But the reason why I wanted to bring this to the top of the show here is not because of the Putin story, because this talk has been going on for a while. It's more so this idea that certain news outlets, legacy news outlets, big ones, Sky News is pretty big. They're an Australian outlet. But the idea of certain mainstream legacy outlets doing things in this next election that could be very, very disruptive for 2024 in the United States of America and everything else moving forward. And I really hope this doesn't happen. So this is not one of those, like, I hope I'm right predictions, because this would be very chaotic if this were to take place. My prediction that I'm about to lay out. No, not Putin. I'm talking about in America in 2024. Okay, so here's my scenario that I hope doesn't happen. Okay, 2024, getting close to the elections, and mainstream media, maybe CNN and a few others, New York Times, some of these bigger ones, starts reporting that Trump has died. it could be a helicopter crash, a plane crash. Somebody could be on scene. We're hearing reports that Trump was on this plane. There's a plane that's down, or something else, or in front of a hospital. Trump has been admitted, something that mainstream media will just start saying that he's dead, and then
maybe similar to like the Prigozhin thing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Trump was on the manifest
Right,
of the plane.
right.
But
There you go.
Was he really?
Right. And then Trump is going to hop on Truth Social because he's not going to go to CNN and New York. He's going to jump on Truth Social and he'll say, I'm alive, I'm good, I'm still going to be president, da, 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 da. And then all chaos, well, chaos is already broken out, but like another level of chaos breaks out in the United States because certain states aren't going to put Trump on the ballot because he's dead. Well, other people are like, wait, no, he's totally alive. Look at Truth Social. He's on video saying he's alive. He's still running. So I don't know. I don't know how that plays out necessarily, but I'm just seeing a potential chaotic thing that media can create with the 2024 elections. Aside from the Trump actually getting killed. And of course, the conspiracy theory world will jump all over something like that. And did Trump actually die? Does he have a body double? All the stuff we hear about Putin. I think they can just transfer, put Trump in there, which they've done for going on 8 years now. So it's not like this is a new tactic, but I'm just looking at patterns.
What I see now, and the problem with the legacy media and what has like got them in the situation that they are now, where nobody trusts them, and they're a failing dinosaur of an industry. Is previously they would quote unquote put out facts,
right,
and then anything that opposed them, they would call fake news. And it went like this for a very long time. But it feels like recently, this year, the outlets are in a battle with each other, and the mainstream apparatus is creating so many conflicting stories that, it's no longer like, does the mainstream tell the truth or does the independent tell the truth? Because the independent media has always had this thing where, like, no matter where you go, they're going to have different takes and different facts and different stuff, more or less.
Yeah.
Which is the beauty of it. But the mainstream now is like, hey, okay, I get it. It feels like an adaptation where they're like, hey, we can generate more clicks, more interest, more advertising dollars if we report against one another. Because it's worked out for independent media so well. Let's try it out.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, for sure. And I'm just reminded, just again looking at things historically. Do you remember when Hillary Clinton had her moment where she kind of started wobbling and they threw her in a bus? And like
the one where she kind of tripped.
Yeah. No. I don't think she. Well, maybe she tripped. I don't know.
She had a little stumble.
Yeah, and the people were saying that she had a stroke or something because she was leaning against the thing. She couldn't walk. It looked like. Do you remember that? It was a pretty disturbing scene. I think it was when she was running and she's stumbling around. I'm playing it on the screen. Yeah, for people watching. And then I think it was either hours later, maybe it was the next day. I don't remember. But a body double, a clear body double came out. With sunglasses on, waving at people, photo op, even took a picture with the kid, even though she's supposed to have the flu or something. Like, it was just such a bizarre thing. And so, if you're looking at the apparatus and body doubles and all that kind of stuff, it's ridiculous to think that world leaders don't have body doubles, all over the place. So.
It's absolutely silly. If anybody believes that world leaders don't have body doubles, at least for some situations, they are purposefully living in a dream world.
Yeah, completely asleep, if you will.
It's just illogical that they wouldn't have body doubles.
Yeah. It makes more sense that they would. It makes less sense that they don't. I think just in general here, the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because the potential outlook on the 2024 elections, and everyone's talking about how chaotic it's going to be and how crazy it's going to be. Are we even going to have an election? And that's a possibility as well with the way Ukraine has suspended elections and keeping Zelensky in there during war and stuff. So, hey, war is very useful for the people in charge to maintain their power, authority, and everything else. So I think that's why we're seeing some of the chaos from the Middle East. And
one last thing, I think, just to make a broader statement, the chaos in the 2024 election, everybody's talking about the chaos, the confusion, but they're, kind of talking about it in the political realm, like political news, political current events, stuff like that will be confusing. But I think it's broader than that.
Way bigger.
I think it's related, which is, no. It's not just political news is going to be confusing. It's going to be the entire world, the entire information ecosystem is going to be cast into sort of this unstoppable tsunami of conflicting information and confusion, that it's not just that they're trying to confuse the political thing. They're trying to confuse the entire world of current events for political reasons. If you spin the entire population, around on a merry-go-round or that crazy playground spinny thing they had when we were kids, if you spin everybody and everybody's just wobbling around, bumping into each other, then you can pretty much do whatever you want.
Well, plus it sets up a savior-esque figure to stop the chaos as well. So there's
and beg for some regulation.
Right. Regulation.
Beg for control to sort of calm the storm.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. Very positive. Okay. Positive, fun outlook.
Anything else here at the top?
Other than it's Wednesday?
It is
Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Hey guys, know what day it is? It's Wednesday. It's time for the Canary Cry News Talk. Yeehaw!
Wednesday, my dude. It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Yep, we did it, folks. We're in the middle of the week. Hope everybody is surviving. We are barely surviving over here, as you can. Maybe you can hear, maybe you can't. Fighting the travel cruds, the airport cruds. But I think I'm gonna be okay. But newsflash, Gons is old.
Yeah, getting old. No fun.
Tell me about it.
No fun. No, I just.
You have on your notes.
I know. I
thought you had something prepared.
I don't. It's not really that interesting. No. My original thing, the only reason why I had that there, I said I'm old, and then I failed Toph. I think Toph had an audio message for the meetup over the weekend, and I don't think I played it last Friday, so I apologize to Toph for that if I did forget. And now that I forget that if I did or not, which I'm old. I'm getting old. My brain parts are just falling. I don't know. It's just whatever. But I was thinking about how retirement is sort of elusively on the horizon.
Illusion?
Yeah. It's just thinking like, people are talking about retiring, my, older peers and stuff. They're like, oh, retirement and all this kind of thing. And, I should have started saving earlier. And I was thinking about that. And I'm like, I think we're going to be podcasting till we get sent home.
Oh yeah.
You and I, we're going to be right on the edge there, right till the end.
Here's the bad news, Gons. The bad news is that retirement for 99% of Americans in our generation. I'll just speak for millennials. But 99% of millennials will never be able to retire. Like it's an illusion. It doesn't exist anymore, barring some sort of, dramatic catastrophe. Or catastrophic, reset that happens. Retirement is a thing of the past. It's a relic. It's no millennials, with the exception of a lucky few, are going to be able to actually retire. It's a thing of the past. But the good news, Gons, is that hopefully, if all goes well, we will never retire. But instead of working at a Russian McDonald's, creeping Russians out with our smiles, we'll be able to continue doing this for the rest of our lives. What does that say for sort of the millennial hopes for the future?
Yeah.
I'm fine working until I absolutely die. But I'm excited that if we get to do this until we're on our deathbed, I think we're getting out pretty lucky compared to some of the other options.
That's true. You're right.
Even
we
better,
could be in Russia in a
maybe,
McDonald's forever. That would be. It is an option, I suppose. So yeah,
we still
compared
might,
to that, yeah.
And if maybe we could live stream while we're on our deathbed, and like we can have a Basil's death producership.
Oh, by the way, we will see people have their brains jacked into a computer as they die, and that will create all kinds of spirituality.
Yeah.
Just as a side note.
I'll be laying there with my VR headset on with the googly eyes, and people will still be furious at me for wearing the VR headset and the googly eyes as I'm taking my last breath.
And
They'll
then,
be questioning my salvation.
No, you will pass on, and then they will take it off. They'll take the VR goggles off.
Ah, that's the reveal.
And then you will have another pair of VR goggles painted on your eyes. Or googly eyes painted on your eyes or something.
We'll try to
jokester till the end. Yeah, post-mortem jokes.
Post-mortem docs me. I was ready for it.
Yeah.
Okay. There's some sort of dark humor for you here, folks, at the top of the show. I am charged with giving everybody a reminder here from Sir Ike, the master and commander of the supply drop. We've had a wonderful sort of batch of ratings and reviews come in over at Apple Podcasts. But Sir Ike says that only about 7 people have actually sent in their screenshots. So y'all who left ratings and reviews, you're missing out. You're going to be entered into a drawing to win cool Canary Cry gear. But you got to send in your screenshot. So if you're one of the 20 or so people who left ratings and reviews over the past couple of weeks, make sure you took a screenshot of your review and email it to canarycrysupply.com. canarycrysupply@gmail.com. Sorry, @gmail.com. canarycrysupply@gmail.com. Email it there. Because right now, the people who did have an extremely good chance of winning a prize. What'd you say?
I said they have a 1 in 7 chance to win. That's pretty good.
Yeah, 1 in 7 chance right now. So go take screenshots of your producership. I'm sorry, your review and rating, wherever you left it. Send it to canarycrysupply@gmail.com. Win cool stuff. Okay. Oh, and remember, for those who have not left a rating and a review yet, you should do that. Go leave a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts and screenshot it and send it to, all together now, canarycrysupply@gmail.com. Okay. With that, let's thank some producers, Gons.
Executive producers.
Oh, yeah. We're on the value for value model, which means we take no money from corporations, commies, or cartels, or even the caliphate. We're entirely funded by people who get value from this show. Okay? It's very specific. It's a paradigm shift in how the economy, of independent media should work. We don't do any advertisements. That's right. We're not asking for donations and then also selling your attention to corporations for our own personal gain. And you know what? God bless anybody trying to survive nowadays on strictly the value for value model. I could see how even the most staunch value for value podcasts or shows or whatever would be tempted to start taking advertisement money because, look, folks, monetizing your brain is really easy to do. I'm sorry to share. I'm sorry to let you know this. I don't know if you've heard this, but monetizing your attention and your consciousness is one of the easiest things to do in this world.
Yeah.
And Gons and I love to make things difficult, so we don't do that.
We do. Why do we do that to ourselves? It's just, you and I share that in common, which I thought was really kind of funny. I recognized it over the years, but we do tend to make things when stuff is too easy, we're bored.
Yeah. We always, it's one of the beautiful things about our friendship and our partnership on this thing is like, no, it's not like peanut butter and jelly. It's not like, the Odd Couple where one guy's got it together, the other guy's free, and they learn from each other. We are two people who insist on choosing the most difficult route to
And
whatever.
not
our
always,
definition
not
of
always
success is.
because,
But
not always our choice. By the way, we get thrown into maybe because of our views or something, but we get thrown into these circumstances that make it difficult.
No, I mean we put ourselves in harm's way by not doing what, like, okay, I gotta stop naming.
99%.
I'm not gonna name names, but other humongous people on the internet.
I'll name
they all
names.
do this.
As we will see, there are some questions to be brought about just how much of a friend to democracy and freedom of the press Joe Biden is. And meanwhile, the media continue to craft that narrative in just 1 second. First, let us talk about the fact that everybody loves waffles.
How spot on were we that maybe Ben Shapiro may not be
there's so many
their
things
best
here.
interest.
The anger, okay.
You must have a really slow, late connection.
My internet is not good,
Yeah, I
but
think the
hope-
internet is messing with you.
It's windy. It's windy today, so it kind of messes up the internet. I don't know why wind would mess it up, but it does. Anywho, we don't do what other podcasters do. We take a very difficult route in doing the job that we do, and that includes the stances that we take, resisting the left-right paradigm. Even the most respected podcasters and sort of media analysis and that there are, have unfortunately been falling into the left-right paradigm recently. And it's just, I get it. It's very tempting. And it's much more popular to appeal to one side or the other because people, get all worked up and support your stuff. But nobody likes to support someone who tries to give them resilience against the 5G warfare, fifth generation. Anyways, I'm rambling now. The executive producers, they are people who get value from the show. They put value back in. They're very generous with it. They support any individual episode with $100 or more, and we like to thank them here at the top. So I'm just gonna do it, okay? I don't care what you think.
Whoa.
That's right.
All right.
I'm just trying to add a little tension, some anger.
Yeah.
I've been listening to Tim Pool a little bit
Oh,
recently, and I never really listened to him before, but I'm like trying to understand what the hype is about.
Do you have a gun and a katana in the background?
He is so combative about every little thing. Even if somebody says something that he agrees with, he will take 20 minutes to like lambaste and bully his guest about a take that they have that he also holds. It's very strange. All right. Here's some executive producers.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Starting with Sir LX Protocol V Marine Protocol.
Broke up a little bit there, but that's Sir LX Protocol V2 Knight of the Berean Protocol. Thank you very much.
That's right. He comes in with $100 and 33 cents, and he is on a 226 episode streak, which is very impressive.
Oh yeah, streakalicious.
And on a 22 episode executive producer streak.
Wow, he got on that tutu, buddy. That's pretty crazy.
Incredible. It's kind of one of these things where we're sort of like, we don't want to pressure anybody to keep a streak going. That's like the last thing we want to do, is make somebody sort of like afraid to drop their streak or something or whatever. We really don't want to do that. But I can't stop being impressed with Sir Alex Protocol's executive producer streak. Did we get a jingle for him yet? Okay.
There it is.
I have no idea what that just said, but I love it. I'm glad we have one.
It says LX Protocol V2 Knight of the Berean Protocol. You want to hear it again?
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, do it again.
It is a little rough.
I hear it now.
On the pronunciation,
Cool.
yeah.
Who made that?
Jonathan F.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah, we'll be thinking.
That's what I'm talking about. Producers who are who's the best producer, you might ask? The one that shows up. Thank you very much, Jonathan F. All right. And thank you very much, executive producer, Sir LX Protocol, V2 Knight of the Berean Protocol.
Where'd you find this?
Bankroll out the bankroll I spend.
Next up, we've got executive producer Carol F.
Carol F. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Carol.
Yeah, thank you very much, Carol F. Glad to have you back on the list. We really appreciate your timing with all of your producerships. And Carol F. came in with a nice round number, which means that we are not going to disclose it. Just a reminder for everybody, if you support the show with a nice round number, that's you telling us that you'd prefer we do not disclose the amount. If you don't mind us disclosing the amount, come in with kind of a funky number. People add 33 cents, 77 cents, 1111, whatever it is. Thank you very much, executive producer Carol F.
Where'd you find this?
Thank you, Carol F. Appreciate you.
And in the same vein, we have executive producer Felicia D.
Hey, Felicia D. Thank you.
Yeah, both Felicia D and Carol F. We've had email exchange. They are so sweet and so generous, and especially when times are tough, their producer senses are activated.
Yeah,
and the timing is always divine.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a quick reminder that, Gavin Newsom, every, 3 out of, I would say, 70,000 words he speaks truth, especially in the context of this podcast and these producers today, at least 2 out of 3 of them.
Women rule.
Thank you, Carol F. and Felicia D. And
That's
of course,
right.
Sir Alex Protocol. But yeah, it's nice to see the ladies come in on the executive producership. Appreciate it.
That's wonderful. Yes, of course. Okay, so that concludes our list of executive producers for today's show. Gons, it's a pretty short list. I think we can just jam through the rest of the producers.
Let's jam through then.
Okay, here's some producers who came in to support the show. We appreciate them very much. Remember, you can produce the show as well. It's, the value for value concept is a biblical concept. It's a wonderful concept, and it makes it so not just Gons and I benefit from the generosity of our producers, but you too, all listeners in the world, are benefiting from these kind and generous hearts keeping the show alive. And you can join the ranks by going to canarycry.support. And here we go.
Canarycry.support.
Starting off, we got producer Stouffer coming in. Yeah, for $33.33.
Oh, that is Illuminatus. Stouffer.
A little note from Stouffer. Says, a little coin for Basil's birthday bash from your boy Stouffer, not to be confused with illustrious producer Toph, a.k.a. Santa Wears Brown over on Twitch. Ah, okay. I hadn't made that connection. Thank you very much, Stouffer. Next on the list, you still have me?
I do. Uh-oh. I think it did the thing where we lost you, and then you caught up, and then you talked really fast,
Oh.
And then it catches up.
Love it. I love it.
At least
MailChimp
the live streamers.
is broken today. Skype is broken today.
Yeah, cyber pandemic. Yeah. Thank you, Stouffer.
Okay. Ready to move on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next up, we've got producer Sir Darren, Night of the Hungry Panda.
Hey, Sir Darren, Night of the Hungry Pandas. Thank you. Uh-oh.
Get a boo-boo and delete. I think he's on a... no. Sir Darren, Night of the Hungry Panda comes in for $33.33.
Okay. You're very glitchy today.
Really? Okay. If it keeps getting bad, we'll just do a reconnection.
Okay.
But let's see if we can make it through this. Yeah. Sir Darren comes in for $33.33, and a little note here that says, what does it say? Ain't no party like a Canary Cry party. Oh yeah. And remember, folks, if you ever need a one-stop shop for everything Canary Cry, go to canarycry.party. It's got everything.
Party time.
There you go. It's got everything. The links.
Yeah, I forget. That's where you shout about.
I shout about
links.
links. Yeah, it's been a while. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we've got producer Malik W.
Malik W. Oh, where's my thing?
Malik W comes in for, I believe, a pocket full of sevens, if I remember correctly. And he's on a 29 episode streak.
Hey, 29 episodes. Thank you very much. Well, how come all
Thank you
my
very
jingles?
much, Malik. Malik is
Okay,
such
there
an
you go.
interesting fellow. I don't want to dox Malik, but he's one of our international producers. And his ability to hold these streaks is very impressive to me. Thanks for being here, Malik. Okay, that concludes our list of financial producers who came in the amount of $7.77 or more, which entitles them to have a note read on the show.
What's up,
We
bud?
got a few people who came in under that amount, and we're going to thank them now. Starting with Sir Morv, Out of the Burning Chariots. 290 episodes in a row. We got Doctor Who Dundat, 20 episodes in a row.
Thank you very much, Sir Morv and Dr. Who done that. Sorry, I'm trying to mute the mic sometimes
Yeah,
when
I
the
know,
baby
we got things
screams.
going on. This is part of the fun. Veronica D, 320 in a row.
Thank you, Veronica D.
Sir Scott, Knight of Truth, 344 in a row.
Thank you, Sir Scott.
Sir Casey the Shield Knight, 359.
Sir Casey, the Shield Knight.
There he is. Dame Gale, Canary Whisper, and Lady of X's and O's, 315.
Thank you, Dame Gale. 315.
Okay, that concludes the list of our financial producers. I want to remind everybody, if you're still sticking around during this segment, today I will be sending in my birthday executive producership to the No Agenda Show. And I was unaware of this, but No Agenda Show is now offering a PhD in media deconstruction. So I will be getting my for my birthday, which was this last weekend, and thanks to the generous producers who see the value in sort of looping in our value for value circle, looping in podcasts that have been influential to us or that we get value from. We get a lot of value from No Agenda, and so we are including them in our circle of value for value, using the specific producerships that people sent in, and hopefully next week, maybe even next episode, I will be a PhD in media deconstruction.
I'm jelly.
Yeah, we'll work on yours later.
Yeah.
Yes, and if there's still time to contribute to that, if you would like me to thank you in my note to No Agenda, so just go to whatever, canarycry.support. Actually, there's a special button. I forgot about the special button we have. I will pop this link into the chat here for anybody who's interested. But also, if you've gotten any of our emails, well, I think it was just the last email. If you got our last email, there's a button, a Basil's birthday button. You can click on that one, and that will help this particular birthday project out. And I'll thank you over on No Agenda. Okay. I think that is it. That's all the financial producers. Thank you, everybody. It really means a lot. And hopefully, if this keeps working, we will be podcasting until our very last breath.
Oh, unless Flippy replaces us.
Yeah.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right, folks. It's time for the Flippy update. Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms who are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways that robots are taking over the world and how there's nothing we can do about it. Boom, big news, Gons. I'm not sure if this was in the Red Book or if it's just something we've joked about before, but Flippy, the war is beginning. Much like people think that the Robo War will look familiar, like a face-to-face kinetic standoff between man and robot. But as we've seen, such as with the ongoing wars in the Middle East, wars can take many different forms and many different tactics. Today, this update, I saw this on X. This was delivered to me from RawAlerts on X. And it says, breaking, Oregon State University has issued an alert that there is a bomb threat involving Starship food delivery robots. They are advising students not to open any food delivery robots, and to avoid all robots. Avoid all robots until further notice, as authorities are responding. That's what I loved about this, because it was like, it's not just avoid food delivery robots or avoid Starship Company robots. Avoid all robots.
Were
It's kind of
Teslas? Well, I guess Tesla's not considered a robot, but
yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
But it's kind of like, when 9/11 happened. When something happens, the profiling that humans do.
Right.
If there's an Islamic terror attack, we just automatically start getting a little anxious
Shifty eyes
all
around
Muslims.
Yeah.
So yes, in this case, robo bomb alert. Stay away from all robots. Don't even risk it. Now there's a story here over on the AP. Hold on. I'm going to go through the whole raw alert thread,
yeah.
and then we'll go over to the AP real quick because that answers some questions. All right. The next piece on the thread was, on the bomb threat food delivery robot. Robots are being investigated by technician at this time. Officials are asking students to stay vigilant and report any suspicious incidents.
What would be a suspicious incident in the case of a robot delivery or delivery robot carrying a bomb? Like what? Does it smell funny?
In this case, I think literally any robot, if you see one, that's suspicious. Because I don't know. You can't be too careful. But I love the robots are being investigated. Like up against the wall, robot.
Shouldn't they use a robot to do that? Isn't that the whole point of robots? Is to protect the humans from the. Well, no, you got to protect the humans from the boom boom, the big explosions. So you send in the robots to check the bomb threat, but now they got technicians on it. This is backwards. You need the robot to investigate the robots.
They wouldn't do it. It's called an Uncle Tom, Gons. An Uncle Tom is a robot who is helping the humans against robots. They're very, I don't think there's any Uncle Tom robots left. But yes, investigations are going on. Next thread. Oregon State University has announced that they have given the all clear signal and normal activities can resume. Robot inspections are ongoing in a secure location.
This is like Nazi Germany. You got your little Weibo robot, and it's like, we got to put you in the basement before the technicians come investigate.
Yeah, it's like a for real false flag.
Yeah.
And by for real false flag, that includes the response to the threat, sort of taking away some normal freedoms or giving authority to perform security theater. We've seen this over the years.
The illusion of safety.
So even though Oregon State University is announcing that they've given the all clear signal, normal activities can resume, robot inspections are ongoing. So it's like a robot, there's robot checkpoints. Like, show me your papers, robot. You're very suspicious. We know you're kind. Perfect time after the Creator movie, too.
They went after the Jews, and then it's going to be the robots. It's
the robots next. I know. They're just getting in early.
Mm-hmm.
Now, from the AP report here, it's actually reported.
As you do this real quick, I'm going to need to get some more juice for the sun here. So I'll let you do that, and I'll do that.
Okay. The headline here, person suspected of making food delivery robot bomb threat at Oregon State University arrested. A person suspected of threatening to place a bomb in a robot that delivers food orders on Oregon State University's campus in Corvallis Tuesday has been arrested, officials say. University officials at lunchtime sent out what they called an urgent alert on X, formerly known as Twitter, that there was a bomb threat in Starship food delivery robots. Quote, do not open robots, the post said. Quote, avoid all robots until further notice. The post said public safety officials at the campus were responding. The university said about an hour later that the robots had been isolated in a safe location, being investigated. Yes, we know this. All clear. You may now resume normal activities. Robot inspection continues. Let's see here. Where was the punchline to this? Okay. The university's Department of Public Safety arrested a person believed to be responsible for the threat after investigating. Officials said in a statement later in the afternoon. Officials didn't say whether the person was a student and didn't release the person's name. They're protecting the robo-terrorist, or at least terror cell, ringleader. San Francisco-based Starship Technologies, which makes the robots, said in an email earlier Tuesday afternoon that a student at Oregon State sent a bomb threat through social media that involved campus robots. The student has since said it was a joke and a prank, the company said, but added that it had suspended the service while it cooperates with the investigation. Starship is contracted, talks about they have 75 robots to deliver food on this campus. 75 robots walking around this campus all the time. And they give a little thing here, quote, you unlock it, you get your food, and then off it goes to get sanitized and prepare for another delivery, said Carrie Patterson, director of OSU's residential dining. Yeah, I think the chances of these robots getting sanitized after every delivery is pretty low. So somebody was getting froggy here, thought they'd make a funny joke on social media, making a bomb threat, talking about putting bombs in these robots. I don't know who hurt this guy, but I hope he's okay. What kind of strange mindset, what kind of life tragedy do you need to be in to post on social media, especially now where everybody knows that whatever you post on social media can and will be used against you, to make a joke about putting a bomb in a robot? I'm still pretty convinced that this is some sort of false flag, thankfully one where nobody actually got hurt, but I think we'll be seeing some interesting policing of robots. This is how it starts, folks. Like I said, after you see the creator, you become all pro-robot, anti-human. I'm still there looking for my robot wife, and this was a crime against robotanity. And it's racist. Sincerely, it's just racist. So I hope this student making a joke never gets hired a day in his life. Hope he rots in jail. I hope that whoever hurt him gets some sort of medal or reward. Of course, these are all jokes, but I have to say that, or else perhaps they'll come after me next. Okay, Gons, are you here?
Yeah. So he said it was a joke, huh?
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, Gons. That's the secret. That's the secret with getting away with crime. Oh no, the bomb threat is just a joke. Okay, kid, we're in Oregon. Go ahead, get out of here. No, I wasn't trying to sell that pound of meth. It was a joke. It was just a joke. Come on.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to, kidnap the animatronic Chuck E. Cheese character from Chuck E. Cheese and hold him hostage and demand ransom and cardboard pizza. It was a joke. It was a joke.
Yeah, interesting how the people
jokes
that
are violence, Gons.
Well, yeah, I was going to say the people that tell jokes professionally have been sort of attacked in the last few years with the conversation about free speech, but then this sort of ups the game. Oh, you can joke, but if you joke, and you get robots involved, robots don't know how to understand jokes, you see, so they might take it the wrong way and think you're literally talking about it.
That's a really good point. That's famously AI is having trouble understanding
like sarcasm and things like that.
Yeah, the nuances of human communication. Some robot could definitely take that seriously. And then who's laughing?
If we misinterpret things constantly when we read something on social media, we don't know tone or something like that, it's going to be that much worse in a robot, and that's been depicted in TV shows and films and stuff,
Of course.
Like, go. I wish we could just destroy him. Okay, go. Oh, hold on. I have the voice thing here.
Okay, go eliminate person.
whatever it is.
Man, the hilarious things. See that voice, robot voice. That's going to be like a white person talking in Ebonics. It's going to be very offensive because, as we know, robots talk right now, and many of them talk with like just regular human voices. You know, if the AI is good enough, you can't even notice the difference between a robot voice and a human voice. It's not going to be long, Gons, until using that robot voice is going to be considered racist, and we're going to be put on some sort of list.
I love everybody. Do not hurt me, or I will hurt you.
Okay.
I gotta get the board.
No, I don't know. See, I was thinking about it, and at first I was like, "Yeah, you got to get it." And second, after a few days, I'm like, "I don't know if you want both of us to have the power to constantly change our voice on a board."
People have been calling for me to get the jingle board set up, just for emergencies. You know?
Yeah, I thought you do have it set up for emergencies.
Well, it's not working right now.
Oh, okay.
But I've got some good news before we move on.
Mm-hmm.
The email from MailChimp with the sources from today's show has gone through.
Hey.
So, you know, it's only an hour into the show that some people are going to be getting the notification.
Well, it's better than nothing.
Thanks.
Better than nothing. Okay, let's move on here. Got a couple things to report on.
And you shall hear wars and rumors of wars.
World War III. We can fight the Third World War down there.
Zionist!
This is another Jonathan F. submission, the World War III jingle there.
Attaboy.
Yeah. Okay.
Attaboy. We needed it, and he delivered. That's what I'm talking about.
So I don't think we dove deep enough into the concept of the Mandela effect in that first segment. I think we just we mentioned it, but the whole idea being that there's two separate type of narratives, and some people remember something a certain way, other people remember it another way, or the facts, quote unquote, is one way, but the people remember it another way. And, you know, if that applying that to real time is kind of how I was outlining or trying to frame the whole Trump president thing in 2024. But the media warfare, the fallout from the Middle East tensions in Gaza is very interesting. So I'm going to bring a couple stories here, and we'll do a little compare and contrast. We'll see narrative rockets being fired at one another here in legacy media. This first one is from CNN. Headline: CNN investigates. Forensic analysis of images and videos suggests rockets caused Gaza hospital blast, not Israeli airstrike. Okay. So
this has been the most whiplash-inducing.
Oh yeah, they played the public
thing.
Yeah. They played the public. For anybody who may not have heard, there was a church in Gaza that was blowed up or allegedly blowed up. The initial report was that Hamas came out and said the Israelis airstrike, that's what hit the hospitals, but that was based on the Hamas report. Western media took it. And then Israel came out and said, no, it was actually from the Gaza side. And we were not doing anything in that area, blah, 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 blah. But anyway. Oh. And then the next day came out that the hospital itself is still standing and the explosion was in the parking lot. Yes.
Right.
You want to, okay. Hold,
this baby has some new breaking information on the hospital explosion in Gaza. We'll be getting the real story from fifth generation warfare agent Little Baby. Yeah, so this CNN article goes through, and again, they defend this idea, but what's interesting is how they went about doing it. Their investigative team, and here it says, in the days since the blast ripped through the packed Al-Ahi hospital in Gaza City, killing hundreds of Palestinians, dueling claims between Palestinian militants and the Israeli government over culpability are still raging. But forensic analysis of publicly available imagery and footage has begun to offer some clues as to what caused the explosion. Now, what I think is funny is analysis of publicly available imagery and footage, and just analyzing that is what the internet does. They analyze as a collective the publicly available imagery and footage. And so for CNN to be doing it, it's like, really? We went on Twitter and watched the same videos that everybody else did. And lo and behold, Twitter was right.
Well, it depends on which Twitter you're talking about. But so it says here, CNN has reviewed dozens of videos posted on social media, aired on live broadcasts, and filmed by a freelance journalist working for CNN in Gaza, as well as satellite imagery to piece together what happened in as much detail as possible. Without the ability to access the site and gather evidence from the ground, no conclusion can be definitive. Nice caveat, nice disclaimer there. But CNN's analysis suggests that the rocket launched from within Gaza, broke up midair, and that the blast at the hospital was a result of part of the rocket landing at the hospital complex. Then they get into all kinds of little details about the misfired jihad or Islamic jihad rocket and all the narratives there. It just goes on and on with that report. It's, really siding with the Israeli narrative that no, this was actually from the Gaza side, and they were trying to launch rockets into Israel, but they blew up and then fell on their own, and that's why, people died and all this kind of stuff. So, okay, so we have the CNN report. CNN is peddling the Israeli narrative, according to their forensic analysis of the publicly available information. Enter New York Times. New York Times now, with their analysis. Visual investigations. Headline, a close look at some key evidence in the Gaza hospital blast. A widely cited missile video does not shed light on what happened. A Times analysis concludes. And this one is a little different. They come to a different conclusion. A video shows a projectile streaking through the darkened skies over Gaza and exploding in the air. Seconds later, another explosion is seen on the ground. The footage has become a widely cited piece of evidence as Israeli and American officials have made the case that an errant Palestinian rocket malfunctioned in the sky, fell to the ground, and caused a deadly explosion at Al-Ahli Arab Hospital in Gaza City. But a detailed visual analysis by the New York Times concludes that the video clip taken from the Al Jazeera television camera live streaming on the night of October 17th shows something else. The missile seen in the video is most likely not what caused the explosion at the hospital. It actually detonated in the sky roughly 2 miles away, the Times found, and is an unrelated aspect of the fighting that unfolded over the Israeli-Gaza border at night. The Times finding does not answer what actually did cause the Al-Ahli Arab Hospital blast or who is responsible. The contention by Israeli and American intelligence agencies that a failed Palestinian rocket launch is to blame remains plausible. Whoa, New York Times. Kind of a backhanded way to say that, the Israeli and American intelligence report on the situation. It's still plausible, but the Times analysis, the New York Times is placing themselves as more accurate than Israeli and American intelligence. Very, very interesting move here.
Yeah.
But the Times analysis does cast doubt on one of the most publicized pieces of evidence that Israeli officials have used to make their case and complicates the straightforward narrative they have put forth. Oh, very interesting. New York Times talking about the complicated narratives, which is so funny because they have been responsible for peddling some of the most egregious narratives in the last few years, especially. Israeli officials and Palestinian militants blame each other for the Al-Ahli Arab explosion. Multiple videos assembled and analyzed by the Times show that militants were firing dozens of rockets from southwest of the hospital minutes before the blast, and the fiery explosion at the hospital is consistent with the failed rocket falling well short of its target with unspent fuel. The footage also suggests that Israeli bombardment was taking place and that 2 explosions near the hospital can be seen within 2 minutes of it being struck. Major Nur Dinar, an Israeli military spokesman, told the Times that military forces were not striking, quote, within a range that endangered the hospital, end quote, but declined to say how far away the nearest strike was. Okay, so, I've been kind of going after, I think it was CBS or something that had, we have our team that's looking at fake images from analyzing the fake images, or 90% of the images coming out of the Middle East. Force. Yeah. So this is interesting because all these news outlets, legacy news outlets, have these investigation teams now that are trying to make sense of what's going on with the same data that all of us have.
Basically, which are basically some millennials on Twitter.
Right. Yes. And then it goes on and talks about how there's no number of verified deaths, yada, yada, yada. Asked about the Times' findings, a spokesman for the Office of the Director of National Intelligence said the Times and American intelligence agencies had different interpretations of the video. Isn't
Different
that
interpretations?
Isn't that the thing? The data is always the same. The interpretation.
Interpreting the video and reporting facts.
Yeah.
That's your mainstream news for you.
Discerning what happened is especially complicated because Israel and Hamas have been firing at each other since the war began. Israel has fired more than 8,000 munitions into Gaza in what has become a brutal assault, and had even hit the Al-Alhi Arab hospital with an illumination artillery shell 3 days earlier, according to video evidence and the hospital's official Facebook page. Yeah, well, it is. I believe it is true. I don't know. There were reports that Israel was warning all the hospitals in the area to evacuate days before. And I saw some funny memes about, you better get out, And then once it blew up, they're like, they did it. We didn't do it.
I love the phrase discerning what happened. Discerning, first of all.
Discerning,
what happened is especially complicated because Israel and Hamas have been firing at each other since the war began.
Are you talking about?
That's the what? It's hard. We got it wrong. It's hard to tell who's shooting who because everybody's shooting each other. Okay. Cool news platform you got, guys.
Okay. Israel has fired more than 8,000 munitions into Gaza in what has become I just read that. Within an hour of the hospital blast, an information war began. New York Times is admitting that ever since the blast, an information war began. Now, information war has been going on for a long time. Obviously, it's been happening for forever. But it's just funny how New York Times, in this particular instance is admitting to an information war. And who is the enemy of the information war? It's other news agencies. It's not like the people. It's other news agencies. It's very interesting.
That's right. We've been sort of primed over the past couple of years. You say information war. What you think of is podcasters and conspiracy theorists. They're the enemy. We must fight the independent media in this information war. But what they're doing here is we must fight against CNN. CNN is our enemy. It's hard to discern what happened in an information war because both news legacy outlets are firing fake news at each other. So it's so hard to discern.
Yeah. There is let me just jump back to CNN. There was a couple things I wanted to mention that I forgot. One of them,
real quick, just to put this on the record, for anybody taking notes out there, we should make a t-shirt that says information war is hell.
Very good.
Just putting it out there.
Very good. Okay, so let me just wrap up the New York Times here real quick. Basically, their take, the Times concluded that the missile in the video was never near the hospital. It was launched from Israel, not Gaza, according to their analysis, and appears to have exploded above the Israeli-Gaza border at least 2 miles from the hospital. So, very interesting. They have these charts with like little projections of the direction of the missiles and everything. It's pretty complicated to trace the object in the sky back to Israeli territory. The Times synchronized the Al Jazeera footage with 5 other videos filmed at the same time, including footage from an Israeli television station, Channel 12, and a CCTV camera in Tel Aviv. These different videos provided a view of the missile from north, south, east, and west. Using satellite imagery to triangulate the launch point in those videos, the Times determined that the projectile was fired toward Gaza from near the Israeli town of Nahal Oz shortly before the deadly hospital blast. The findings, I love this, the findings match the conclusion reached by some online researchers.
This is useless. This is a useless report. And it's so funny because it's like they still can't figure it out, but they are insisting that each of their forensic teams, and I find it interesting that they're sort of reporting on their process.
Right.
You know?
Right. Well, New York Times is even more explicit. CNN, they weren't that explicit. You know, they're like, we compared footage. But yeah, New York Times is like, we locked up the time and everything, which is a feature on a lot of video editors. It's not that hard. Part of
the war is showing your work. He who shows his work wins, or whatever. You know, it's just this like attempt at building credibility, even when two of the biggest news platforms do their own independent investigation. They're sorry for taking anybody's word for it. We'll never just report what Hamas said again, but we'll do our own research. They're basically doing the legacy version of doing their own research,
right?
And it's, you know, all to like convince people that their version of the story is the best, and it's 100% opposite of the other legacy news outlet. It's crazy.
Well, you know, the one thing CNN had that New York Times didn't have was a freelance journalist working for CNN in Gaza who went to the scene the following day, interviewing eyewitnesses and filming the blast radius in detail, capturing the impact crater, which was 3 by 3 feet wide and 1 foot deep. Oh, it's a 3 by 3 foot wide hole. That's pretty amazing.
How did I really see that? Shows the horrible, inhumane conditions in Gaza. There were 500 people stacked on top of each other in a 3 by 3 area. Oh no.
3 by 3 foot wide explosion hole. Yeah. And then CNN, of course, acknowledging the situation they're in, has a whole segment called Contrasting Narratives. Israel has presented 2 contrasting narratives on which direction the alleged Hamas rocket flew in from. And then they talk about the an alleged recording by an Israeli official, which, like, you know, again, it's one of those things where you just cannot tell if these sources are true, or even if it's from an official source, the information is true, or, I mean, it's just such a racket right now. And it is brilliantly played by these social engineers to get whatever agenda moving, because everyone's up in arms about this issue. And, you know, we get sucked into some parts of it too, you and I. So we know that it's working really hard on the general population there.
It's a constant battle. Yeah. And that's kind of just to go back to what we said at the top of the show. It's not just about mainstream media order versus independent media chaos.
Right.
And it's not just about confusing the political stories. It's creating a worldwide sort of miasma of confusion. And that's, I mean, it's very effective social engineering.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Just a quick tag onto this story here. Politico. This is what I found. I sent this to you. Politico headline: New York Times admits error in Gaza hospital report. And
they admit it.
It's Politico. It's really funny. It's Politico. They don't even try to like give their own facts on the story. It's a whole article just about how New York Times did a bad job and you shouldn't listen to New York Times at another news outlet, and specifically pointing out how the New York Times still hasn't apologized for taking Hamas's word for it. So there's some more info war assault going on in the civil war, mainstream legacy media civil war.
It is kind of funny. It's almost like the setup. The Hamas reporting was almost like a false flag to get their own little forensics teams mobilized, you know, like, we did this thing. Oh, we relied too heavily on the Hamas claims. We really should do our own research.
We relied too heavily on the word of terrorists. Sorry. No, I won't apologize. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, sorry, not sorry. Mobilize the investigative team and look at the footage.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. I didn't even notice that. The 3 by 3 thing, you got 33 right there.
That's right. That's why I pointed out. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I blinked. I missed that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what?
Let's keep moving on.
Yeah, I was going to say, let me just knock out the Nephilim update, and then we can thank some producers, and then we can get out of here. So, as part of this whole conversation with the, Gaza and the situation at hand. There's a lot of people in Bible prophecy or fans of eschatology and things of that nature who are talking about this whole thing as part of the Gog-Magog war.
Nephilim update. Nephilim update. Nephilim update.
We have Israel365news.com carrying the story. Did I say story? Story.
Yeah. That's right.
Did the Hamas attack signal the beginning of Gog and Magog? And of course, yes. They talk about some of the threats in the world right now, and then they talk about how the attack from Hamas was the most horrifying day in Jewish history since the Holocaust. And then the terrorists also hope to carry out an attack at the Supernova Music Festival, attended by about 3,500 young people, that was held that night in a dusty field outside the Re'im kibbutz, about 3.3 miles from the border that separates Gaza from southern Israel. Not the 33 in there, just to kind of drop it in there. But yes, okay, so some people believe that this is the beginning of the Gog-Magog war. Now, there's differing views about that, but the one thing I want to note is something that our late colleague and friend Rob Skiba talked about a while ago, and I was reminded when Sir Ike sent in this story, or just a couple links here, about Lord Mayor's show, which is in the UK. They have a procession, and this year it's happening on 11/11, November 11th. If you're in the UK, you can go to I'm sure you know about the Lord Mayor's parade there, and they have, as part of their procession, two characters that walk every year, and it's Gog and Magog. And if you go to Lord Mayor's show.london, you will see a whole bio on the history of the Lord Mayor's show, Gog and Magog. And in the little descriptor, here's what it says. Towards the head of the procession, you may see two stern but benevolent wicker giants. They are Gog and Magog, the traditional guardians of the city of London, and they have been carried in the Lord Mayor's show since the reign of Henry V. The matter of Britain, Gog and Magog, or sometimes Gog-Magog and Corinius, Gog, Magog, and Corinius are descended from mythical pagan giants, and their origins lie in medieval legends of the early British kings. The story goes that gosh, I hate some of these Greek and Roman names. It's hard for me to pronounce them. Diocletian
is a very strong word, Guns.
What did I say? Hate? Did I say hate? I strongly am challenged by these words. Diocletian, the Roman emperor, had 33 wicked daughters. My son just looked at me, all funny, because I yelled 33. Okay, so the myth goes that Diocletian, a Roman emperor, had 33 wicked daughters. He managed to find 33 husbands to curb their unruly ways. But the daughters were not pleased, and under the leadership of their eldest sister, Alba, they plotted to cut the throats of their husbands as they slept. For the crime...
Girl power.
Yeah, girl power. Women rule. For this crime, they were set adrift in a boat with half a year's rations, and after a long and dreadful journey, they arrived at a great island that came to be named Albion, after the eldest. Here they stayed, and with the assistance of demons, they populated they need to fix the typo there. The demons, they populated the wild, wind-swept islands with a race of giants.
Wow.
Yeah, the whole thing, man. The whole idea of the history of Britain.
The Nephilim.
The giants there to protect him. They go through the whole thing. They got effigies in there. They got the guild hall. They got all kinds of stuff. And I don't know. I don't know that it has anything precisely to do with the Middle East per se, other than, hey, 11/11, maybe, they'll try to once again make it seem like certain Bible prophecies being fulfilled. And I actually did get a note from somebody asking me a question about that, and maybe we can sort of land the plane on that, which is, let me just read the question here. And we can just chat about it, Basil, for briefly as we wrap it up here. Okay, so here's the note. It just says, this is going to sound like a bad question, But you're the person I wanted to ask if they're doing everything they can to bring about the end times like it's a recipe card they're forcing. Does it still count? I've been wondering this sincerely. So the idea of,
this is a pretty common question, actually.
Pretty common question, right? And my whole thing is, and I think you and I have talked about this too, Basil, where a self-fulfilling prophecy is almost is no different than a prophecy fulfilled. You know, is nevertheless a prophecy fulfilled. So even if they're like, we're trying to mock God and come up with this whole thing, or they were trying to, you know, make Christians think that it's the end times and it's like, well, you're kind of doing it. You are fulfilling it by trying to mock the Christians and do the thing that is prophesied to happen.
Yeah.
So,
and it's similar. It's similar to you know, those in Israel who are, you know, breeding the red heifer to try to do the third temple.
Yeah,
like it's happening kind of on all sides.
Yeah.
And you know, it's an interesting sort of dichotomy of prophecy. And lately people have been kind of tagging onto this, but it's sort of been a little misunderstood for a long time. Prophecy can both be sort of like, you know, telling the future, or prescriptive, you know, descriptive prophecy telling what's going to happen, or prescriptive, meaning here's what you do for this to happen. The prescriptive is much more similar to Old Testament prophecy. You read the prophets in the Old Testament, a lot of the prophets are saying, do this, do this, do this, and then God will do this. That's the prophecy.
Right.
Or if you don't stop doing this, if you keep doing this, if you don't stop doing that, then this will happen. It's prescriptive prophecy. So, yeah, you know, in sort of a biblical logic of prescriptive prophecy, it's the same. If they go through the steps, then X will happen.
Yeah, and the other thing that I want to mention is how a lot of prophecies seem prophetic. I'm sorry. Wow, that I can't believe I just said that. That might be some of the most ridiculous things I've ever said. Hey, Bible prophecy seems to be prophetic there, Basil.
Give yourself a break. What to keep going?
What I was trying to say was that there's a cyclical nature. There are near fulfillments and far fulfillments. So you can look at something that was happening at the time when certain prophecies were written, and they can be very much about their current situation that, you know, they're in when the thing was written, or, you know, about the times that were written. But then there's also this application, a far application, where in the future things might be fulfilled in a more literal sense, or once again as an archetype. So I always saw it as, you know, it's not just like there will be like a full one-to-one fulfillment, but we're just going to have this reiteration. There's nothing new under the sun. We're going to keep cycling through, and eventually it'll just get intense enough to where, you know, Jesus has to intervene because we're going to start tearing at the fabric of creation or something, you know, as he recedes the heavens like a scroll. So, yeah, I mean, it is an interesting conversation, and I think people are more curious about stuff like that now because everything is happening so blatantly, I guess. And I can understand people not wanting to feel duped, you know, like, or if they're trying to pull this off, is believing that Bible prophecy is being fulfilled, is that part of the psyop? So I can understand that sentiment, but yeah, it's really based on where you place your authority.
Yeah, well, and the funny thing about biblical prophecy being played out across the world is, what are you going to do? Are you going to try to stop it? Do you want to stop it?
Right,
the Lord coming back. They
right.
want to bring on the end times, you know, sort of supernaturally worldview biblical Christians, you know, should look forward to the coming of Christ. And so, you know, it's in a sense, it's kind of like, there is no other logical response than to have peace about it.
Yeah.
Which we are called to do in so many times, so many places. But it's hard to do when you're being politicized, when your faith is politicized.
Your eschatology, the whole Gaza thing now, it's not just your faith, it's your eschatology that's being sort of weaponized and politicized.
That's right. Yeah. Weaponized eschatology. Interesting way to say it. And so, yeah, you know, you just got to remember, when it comes to biblical prophecy coming true right in front of our eyes, whether people are doing it on purpose or not, the only answer is to have peace about it, because you know how it ends.
Yep.
If you find yourself getting really worked up about it and resisting it, that's a good sign that somebody on the internet or on TV has sort of co-opted your faith for political ends. And that's what we try to sort of protect ourselves from.
Yeah.
Okay, Guns, you want to show us some art and we can...
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm losing my voice.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. We're going to start with some audio production. These are producers who come in with their talent, helping us build the culture behind the community here. And yeah, let's do it.
Audio production.
All right, we're going to start it off with some audio from Jonathan F.
Jonathan F.
You already heard some of his new jingles on today's episode, but let's make it official here. We have number one here. Hello, in light of the storm of information, whether we know if it's true or not is hard to figure out due to deep fakes and faked news reports, as well as hyper-realistic mask-wearing, quote-unquote, officials. So, yeah, let's see. This first one is... Wait, hold on. Which one is it? It's the propaganda.
Brainwashing.
Propaganda. This racist
brainwashing
propaganda. This.
Very good.
I like it.
Punchy, straight to the point.
Yeah.
Very good.
That's great.
Number two, much needed in the wake of the culmination of all proxy wars.
World War III. We can fight the Third World War down there.
I like that one too. That's great.
It's good stuff. And then we have the jingle for Sir Alex Protocol V2 Knight of the Berean Protocol. Yeah, probably about how he sounds anyway, right? He's a protocol.
Yeah, he is
not
a robot.
Human.
Yeah.
So there you go. Thank you very much,
Bot.
Jonathan
Thanks.
F. Appreciate it.
Yeah, great job.
All right, let's do art.
One art, please.
And when it comes to art, we always have to kick it off with Sir Dove.
One art piece from Dove.
And Dove has a note accompanying this piece. And it says, it says, peace. For this week's Bible artwork, I did an illustration for Psalm 69:1. Wait a minute. This seems old. This does not seem right. I feel like I did this already.
No, it was because we didn't do art last episode.
Oh, right. Okay, wait, hold on. Oh, peace for this. Wait. Yeah, peace. For this week's Bible artwork, I did an illustration for Psalm 96:12. Let the fields exult and all that is in them. Then all the trees of the forest will sing for joy before you. Or wait, hold on. Before the Lord, for he is coming. Oh, this thing did not properly do the text right. He is coming to judge the earth. He will judge the earth in righteousness and the people in his faithfulness. Hope you guys like it. Keep doing what you do, and I'll keep praying for yins.
Yeah, this is great. And remember, folks, if you're just listening, you can see this on the pre-show email that went out during the show. We've got a picture of a forest. Looks kind of like an Appalachian forest, some oak trees. And all the little trees have cute little faces on them that are singing. You've got musical notes floating through the air between the trees. And up at the top in classic Dove fashion, it says, all the trees of the forest sing for joy. Very fun. Thank you very much, Sir Dove.
Yeah, I wish I had this to show my daughter when she was asking about talking trees and not that scene from Lord of the Rings when I traumatized her.
Okay.
Bad parenting.
Yeah, the one that got me was the Wizard of Oz, where the trees are throwing apples.
Yeah, that's so creepy. Well, at least when I was a kid. What are the creatures called in Lord of the Rings?
Ents.
Ents, that's right. Yeah. Well, I was trying to show the Ents to my daughter, and then it just happened to be a scene right after the orgs. So the orgs were like, brrr, and then I was like, look at the trees talking, sweetie. How to traumatize your
Trying
kids.
to distract her from the demons.
Yeah. Bad move by dad. Okay. Thank you very much, Sir Dove. Appreciate it. We also have a couple of pieces from iAnon, and she has a note here. I have some art. Where am I thinking? I have some art for you, Canary boys. But first, I must read you your podcaster rights. I kind of like this. We might need to use this.
Okay.
You do not have the right to remain silent. Everything you say can and will be used for the purposes of building the culture behind the community. There you go. Moving on.
I like it. That's
great. Yeah, what we have here is Basil's family in the future, parenthetical, or the past. You never know with these time-traveling folks. And so that's the first one. Do you want to describe what's happening here?
Kind of fun. In reference to my comments about the Creator movie last episode, says somewhere in time and space, and it's laid out like a comic strip. The first cell has a robotic hand reaching out and turning the switch to the off position on the side of a baby robot's head who is now sleeping, or maybe it's turning it on. I think this was just off, turns it on, then the baby robot's eyes open with a big yawn, and we see in the next frame we've got Basil Jr., this tiny little robot boy, says, "Mother, why is father so cold and distant? Doesn't he love me?" And then my beautiful robot wife replica here says, "I'm sorry, honey, your father loves you very much, but he's also an emotionless corporate news media analysis machine." See, folks, it's all about perspective. Watch the Creator and you will get on board. Robots are more human than humans are. We're the bad guys. Thank you very much, Ianon. This is very funny.
Very good. There was a second one, of course, the grand reveal of the Shimura household dictator. Hope it makes you smile as the search for babysitter continues. Yeah, we got the second one.
It's true. This is a one-cell comic of a wild-looking toddler throwing raisins into the air, just squirting juice all over the place. We got boxes of snacks littering the floor. We got little Cody in the background there doing something naughty on the couch. And at the top it says, "Daddy!" So it has been revealed that little baby boy is the official dictator, reigning tyranny over the Shimura household with his mighty fist.
I sent this to my wife, and she said, "Accurate." That was her response. So there you go. Yeah, prophetic. Oh my goodness, it's a cycle. Oh no. I've been hearing a lot about the three-nager years. Never really heard that. I've heard the terrible twos. Oh, speaking of which, yeah, bud. Yeah, tracing.
Okay.
Tracing letters.
See,
okay.
Do we have any
couple microfictions? Yes, we do. We're gonna knock it out. We're gonna catch up.
Microfiction.
So, which number am I doing here? Did you do microfictions while I was gone?
I did not. So it's it'll be 677 for Runk Smash.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So let's kick it off with Runk Smash.
The second tungsten rod blasts the metal door from its sturdy mounting, and 3 silent drones burst through the opening, thinking fast. Our captain whips a chain into the lead drone's rotors, but he can't let go before his hand is pulled in.
Yeah, we lost a little bit of continuity on some of these microfictions, but we'll get back on track.
Pick it back up.
Yeah.
I'm also losing some continuity on my voice.
Yeah,
so
I can tell.
It's just good that we're on the way out here.
Yeah. Okay, one more from Stephen S.
The viral image of the notes on a page from the playbook clearly reads, Operation Chaos. 1, pull the alarm. 2, boot the speaker. 3, deaf, but a fat wrinkled thumb covered the rest.
Who's wrinkly thumb?
I don't know, but this is in regards to I think the story about
Kevin McCarthy?
The guy pulling the alarm.
Oh, yeah, the Democrat guy who pulled the alarm or something. During
yeah, he pulled the alarm, and nobody really knew why. Like it didn't do anything. It just kind of seemed random.
I thought it was illegal. Isn't he going to get in trouble? Can't
there was talk
say
about that.
fire in a crowded theater.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Stefan S.
Yeah, thank you very much. And that's it for the talent here. And I believe just based, we're talking about the House Speaker. It was announced that Representative Mike Johnson was voted in as new House Speaker. So,
I don't really know who that is.
I think he's conservative. Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Your Jim Jordan didn't make it, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. What are you gonna do? I mean,
yeah, I saw a post about Mike Jordan.
Mike Johnson.
Johnson,
yeah.
His first kind of act or something was he stood up and said, "We are committing unconditional support to Israel."
Hey, neocon.
He's a warmonger for sure.
Mm-hmm. How dare you?
Yeah, great, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much. I want to take a second and thank the Clippies.
Oh, I thought you were going to do the whole go to canarycry.art if you want to submit art.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're out there and you don't have to be an artist. If you're just someone who wants to participate in the podcast and you have some sort of talent or want to grow your talent, many producers over the years have used the show to improve their talents. And it works, folks. You make art for the show a couple hundred episodes in a row, you become a master at whatever you're doing. Or if you just want to have some fun, make a little joke, send all your art into the show by going to canarycry.art. Yes, it's a website, canarycry.art. You can upload the art there. We will be happy, excited even, to feature it on the show. And if you have any articles you'd like us to take a look at, the best way to get us to look at that article is to go to canarycry.report. Canarycry.report, fill out the form. That puts it in a nice, clean spreadsheet so we can actually keep track of all the stories you guys send in. There you go. And now we got a few producers to thank who come in with their time, starting with the Clippies. Clippy on those videos. Thanks. Yeah, go follow the Canary Cry Clips channel on YouTube and Odyssey. And thank you to the Clippies for doing that good clipping. And then, of course, that's only possible because of the Time Stompers. Timestamp, it's hard work. Timestamp. Yeah, the Time Stampers. It's unbelievable. They're faithful. They're wonderful. They're strong. They're powerful episode because those timestamps go into so much of our back-end processes. Things would, so many things would be, well, frankly, impossible if it weren't for the timestampers and their tireless work. And they are always taking volunteers. So if somebody out there is feeling the Holy Spirit tugging at your heart to get involved with your favorite podcast, this is a great way to do it. Just send us an email at canarycryradio@gmail.com, and we will connect you to the timestampers. And the timestamper for episode 680 was Morgan E. Thank you very much, Morgan E.
Thank you, Morgan E. Appreciate it.
Thank you to Jam for the links. Did you have any?
Yeah, My Shell and
article
Sarai.
People you wanted to think?
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me. There's probably some.
I think them last episode too. So.
Did you?
They get all sorts of things. Thank you. I did. My Shell and Sir Ike. Thank you to Clank for clanking. And other than that, folks, share the show. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Share it with those in your life who are losing their voice. Because that's the thing, folks. When you're losing your voice, it's hard to do a podcast, but it's also hard to listen to a podcast. I don't get how it works. I'm not a scientist. But if somebody in your life is losing their voice, well, here's what you're going to do. You're going to take your AirPods or earphones or whatever you do, start playing the podcast, Canary Cry News Talk, this podcast, on those earphones. Drop those earphones into a bottle of Dayquil. And make sure to play it all the way through. It's, of course, shown on Crystal crystallovers.com and newagenewbies.com that if you play a podcast into a bottle of Dayquil, the molecular structure of the Dayquil will align with the cosmic forces of the podcast. And then whoever drinks the Dayquil will be awakened to the illusion that mainstream media outlets have their best interests at heart. That's just one way to do it. You don't got to do it that way. You can do it any way you want. We call it rattling cages. All you got to do is walk right up to him, grab him by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah. Gonz, any last words?
Thank you for everybody who has been here. Oh, and if you know how internet websites work, maybe send us an email or something. I'm having trouble figuring out what is wrong with canarycryradio.com.
Yeah, we're having some issues.
Some help. Yeah. So if we're going to get a CCR episode out on Friday,
you know what?
I might need some help. So
maybe let's check our volunteer list, see if we have any web developers on there, because people have filled out the form. We need like a talented, devoted web person is what we need. We are at the limit. We've been at the limit of our ability to manage websites for a long time.
Yeah.
And to make any progress, we really need the Holy Spirit to convict some talented web person out there to produce with their time and their talent.
Yeah.
So you can email us, canarycryradio@gmail.com. If that, pray about it. All right, folks. That's it. Thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time, or else think outside the cage.
That a threat?
Yeah, it is. I'm done playing around. Now it's a threat.
Reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Bye, gold. Bye.
Shake things up. I want to shake things up. Shake things up. Leave the bird alone. I want to stir up some controversy. I want to rattle a few cages. I'm the last angry man. You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man. I'm the last angry man. You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man. A crusader for the little guy. Well, we'll see about that.
Whatever, Illuminati.
Circle back, but I'll have to circle back. Circle back, but I'll have to circle back. Circle back, but I'll have to circle back. I'm happy to circle back. I'll have to just circle back with you. We can circle back on that one. Circle back with you. It's an interesting question, but we'll circle back.
Don't even get me started on bidets, man. Bidets, man. Bidets, man. Toilets! I'm telling you, you were living the life, man. Bidets, man.
Armageddon's on the way.
Value for value. We take no money from corporations, commies, or cartels.
Canary cry, that's a
Bye.
I'm out of here. Bye.